The last thing you want to hear when you need your auto insurance most is a robot with countless irrelevant menu options. Which is why with USAA Auto Insurance, you'll get great service that is easy and reliable, all at the touch of a button. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply. USAA.
Hilton brings you new ways to stay. With experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
From the Fifth Quarter Studio in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to the Coaching Youth Hoops Podcast.
They're playing basketball.
Here's our hosts, Steve Collins, and Bill Flitter.
All right, welcome to Coaching Youth Hoops. I got to use my radio voice more often.
You got a good radio voice.
I do have I have a face for radio and I have a voice for radio. I really do. There's less money in radio than teaching.
Yep.
So.
It's all right.
That's why I started podcasting.
Well, that's why we're going YouTube, right? As well.
YouTube and podcasts. I'm telling you, I've had so many people. I mean, that's why I got into podcasting, because it's like if I had a nickel for everyone that said your voice really works well, you should be in radio.
Yeah.
And it's like, blah, 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 whatever. That's why I started. That's why I initially, 5 years ago, started the podcast. It's like, okay, we'll give this a shot. I can sit and talk about stuff. That's easy. All right. So
you know that I've been on TV though?
Huh?
Did you know that I was on TV?
You were on TV? What were you, a newscaster?
No.
Were you weatherman?
I did a commercial with Steph Curry. I was his trainer in a television commercial a few years ago for a Chase commercial. Yeah. And
did you get his autograph?
Different television shows. That's my wife. That's what she does. She's a television producer. So a lot of home and garden TV shows. So sometimes when they oh my gosh, we need somebody, she's like, can you do this? So
does she? Okay. So did you get his autograph?
I did not, because it was strictly forbidden.
Oh,
they brought it up. Did
you get a picture with him? Did your wife take a picture?
She wasn't there, but there's a video. I can send you the video of the commercial. And
I would take a snap. I would somehow get that, a picture of that, so I could put it in my office.
It was crazy. It was anyway, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet it was.
I had a juggle with him, and I'm like, I never juggled. He does that tennis ball juggling thing. I had to learn how to do that day. And I'm like, oh boy, okay. 2 balls were easy, and then his trainer came in, his actual trainer who I was playing, said, that's not what we do. That's not how we do it. He's got to have 4 balls. And I'm like, oh god. So I had to learn in an hour how to juggle with him with 4 balls. It was pretty fun. By the way, I have to say, this was awesome. We were doing the ball juggling. He dropped one of the balls. Okay. He turned to the producer and said, that was me. That was my fault. That's not his. That was on him. Because apparently, I probably shouldn't say this, but apparently LeBron James, even if LeBron James dropped the ball, he would have blamed it on me in this case. And that
says something about Steph.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is a whole side note. I think Steph has changed the game more than any player in the last 15 years.
I agree.
Because of the amount of threes every youth players shooting. Anyway, that's a different podcast. All right, before we do that, let's
shoot threes.
Youth, yeah. Anyway, that's a podcast. We should write that down. We should do a podcast on shooting threes at the youth level because I have a lot of feelings about that. Anyway, so before we do that, let's give a big shout out first of all to our Facebook group. Go over and type in Coaching Youth Hoops into Facebook, and I'll put the link. All these links will be down below. But go over and check that out. Coach Collins is starting a membership for Coaching Youth Hoops coaches, all of you, all over the world. Like I was telling you, I talked to a coach over in Melbourne last week. But anyway, coachingyouthhoops.com. Go over and check that out. And it's a one-stop shop for youth basketball coaches. And then Coach is going to talk about
basketballpracticeplans.com. Coaches, no need to create your practice plans for your season. Have already done it. You got your blobs, your slobs, your offense, your defense, all done for you. Written descriptions, videos, everything you need to run a successful program. Stop running late into practice and going to YouTube or Google and searching for a few drills. Just print these out and go. Bring them, put them on your phone.
One-stop shop, baby. One-stop shop. Hey,
you got everything right there.
So we were talking about like last week about some of my pet peeves anyway, and we definitely did it off the air. So do you call them inbounds plays or out of bounds plays?
Interesting. I know. I've been, it's funny.
That's a tough call. Like usually in a sport, there's like one terminology.
Correct.
And I don't know, side out of bounds plays. Everyone calls it side out of bounds. I don't think I've heard any other vernacular with that, but inbounds or out of bounds, it is literally like two separate, they're the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things that's always driven me bonkers.
Blobs and blobs, baseline out of bounds and sidelines out of bounds, right? And it's really
but then you have different types of slobs, and then you have different types of blobs. Because you have full court blobs, you have half court blobs, Anyway, this is what Bill and I do. We go down a rabbit hole and like.
All right, what are we talking about today, Coach?
We're not talking about this, but I would in the comments down below tell me which one you use, inbounds or out of bounds. I'd love to know. That's a good one. Because it's kind of like that, like the chicken or the egg thing. So let me tell. Right. I want to know which one you pick. So down in the comments, down below. Hey, if you like this podcast, leave a review.
I was just going to mention that. We need more ratings.
Leave more ratings, leave reviews if you like this, because I know a lot of youth coaches have reached out and said they like this. If you do, Spotify, Apple is king, but either one of them you can leave a review, and we would love that. I'll make a pledge right now to Coach. If you leave a comment, I will read the comment on the next podcast.
Awesome.
Now, if it's a horrible one, I might lose it, but if it's a good one, I'll definitely read it.
There we go.
All right, what's today's topic?
Should you teach plays or an offense in youth basketball? That came from one of my coaches at a coaching clinic I did, and I thought that's a great topic for you and I to have on our podcast. And if you do teach plays.
Llévate más de lo que esperas todos los días con el nuevo McValue en McDonald's. Ahora puedes comprar uno y sumarle otro por $1. Así que cuando tu equipo favorito enfrenta a sus rivales, enfrenta tus antojos con $5 Meal Deals. Y si estás corriendo para alcanzar el desayuno, corre al app para llevarte ofertas antes del cutoff. Tú decides, y con McValue, tu decisión siempre rinde más. Precios y participación pueden variar. BOGO $1 válido para un producto de igual o menor valor. Debe estar registrado en Rewards para ofertas en el app.
At what age should you teach plays? So I have a philosophy.
You go first this time.
Yeah, I think, teach them how to play, not plays. And I think if you teach them how to play first, then it's easier to run plays. How to play, what does that mean? Simple, cutting and passing and screening, and then you can just run, passing and catching. Really important. Passing, and you got to be able to catch the ball, be able to cut through the lane, screen, and working together as a 5-person team, right? In some sort of motion or movement that everybody's a little bit in sync. Not doesn't have to be perfect, but there is some sort of continuity to your movement. Because then I think from there you can always teach them a quick hitter or a way to get the ball, to your guard, right? Your wing, whatever that might be. That's my brief thoughts on that.
Yeah. So here's what I think about this. So I think if you're dealing with kindergartners, first grade, there's a stretch. I think at the second or third grade level, you can teach them a play by doing an out of bounds play.
Correct.
Or
That's right. Yeah.
I think
special teams.
Yeah, it's called special teams. You teach them an easy stat. I mean, they will love that. They'll think it's fun. So I think there's a difference going into us getting off track about slobs and blobs. I think even at the youngest age, as long as they kind of know, you can probably teach them a baseline out of bounds play, something basic. Don't get it literally cut here kind of thing, whatever. Yeah. I don't think you need, I think maybe by the end of elementary, you need some plays, maybe, or quick hit. I call them quick hitters again, some people, whatever they are. But definitely by middle school, I think again, offensively, I think you should have some sort of motion. You should teach them how to play, but I think I think it's a stack, right? And as they go along in this progression from, let's say, first grade to eighth grade, that the progression should get more complex and it's teaching. It's like, I'm not going to teach a first grader the same math as I'm teaching an eighth grader. So I'm going to get more complicated as I go. I don't think you need the Kentucky playbook by the time they're in eighth grade. I think you need, a handful of a couple out of bounds plays, a couple quick hitters, maybe a zone on. I mean, there's things that you can do. I think what you want to do is add to their toolbox. So when they go off to high school, they've run sets, they've run plays, they've run maybe even a structured offense rather than a motion offense. They've run, and again, this wasn't the question, but they've run a different defense rather than just one. I just think I want my players to come to me with as many tools in that toolbox as they can. The third grader does not need many tools in their toolbox. They probably maybe don't even need a tool. They maybe need a screwdriver, maybe, kind of thing. So I think that's where the progression in the teacher in me comes out, that you got to kind of teach the progression of it as they go along. I don't think it's a yes or no on either part. I just think it's a progression as you move along that line.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think definitely is a progression, and you if you consider your sideline and your baseline out of bounds plays or inbound plays, as we were having the discussion, those are plays, right? And you have to have one of them. I also add, this is probably another tangent we can talk about.
We can't go on another tangent, Coach, because I know you have to go to practice. So
I do. I have.
So wrap up. Do you have any more on this? See, I'm the producer. I'm wrapping in.
That's right, keeping us on schedule. No. So let's wrap it up. So plays limit. It's a progression. As they get older, you can teach them plays. As they're younger, teach them how to play. Put a huge emphasis on fundamentals. They got to be able to dribble. They got to be able to catch and pass and catch and shoot. And have some form, right? Yeah. And that takes time. And if you're going to not spend time on there and spend time on your plays, I don't care what offense you have or what plays you run. If they can't do the fundamentals, you have nothing. Again, big fundamental as a base, and then layer on your offense. Kids will always find a way to score.
Yes,
always find
they
a way
will.
To score.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Coach.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.